Hey everyone, it's Lisa, and today is Thursday, and I did a tutorial, surprise. And I did this look, which is just a good everyday look for me these days. It's just using one shadow, which is the Chanel Illusoire, but you could use it with any shadow, especially a cream shadow, and that's kind of what I'm focusing on, is showing you how to use one cream shadow and get more dimension. And just the new Dior powder and some different things like that. So anyway, the first thing I always do is use my Giorgio Armani Master Corrector. I just ordered a new one. I guess it should come today. I ordered this and that Guerlain bronzer, the brunette. I have had this over a year, so it lasts a long time. I mean, I still could use it a while, but I have to work at getting some on the thing now. So I'm going to put this in the darkest part of my circles, the hollowness right here, and especially I have that discoloration right there. So I put it right in there, and then I try to just bring it over just in that darkness, and you will see how this really brightens it up. And this is a corrector, so it's gonna just take out that darkness, and it really helps. And what I do is just pat it in, and I don't try to bring it up to the lash line. You want to just keep it right there, kind of away from those smile lines and everything like that. I mean, you can see what a miracle that does. A lot of people ask me, do I really think it's necessary? And this is just one of the products I just would not be without. And of course, my face had been so clear, but this morning I had a little bit of breakout right there on my cheeks. So I'm going to take just what's left and kind of rub it right there. And then, okay, this is the premium Super Magic BB, Perfect Super Magic BB Cream. And I got this as a gift from Amy. And this is going to be very similar to the Rachel K effect. You can already see I've been tanning, not just self-tanning. I've been using a new one that I got this week. I'll tell you about tomorrow. And I don't put it on my face. So my face is already a lot lighter. And then watch what this does. This is going to make it even lighter. And this would probably be a deal breaker for most of you, but you'll see how I make it work. And I even like it. So I just take a little bit and I just start and I rub it in just like I would like lotion almost, or moisturizer, and just spread it out until it's pretty thin, and it spreads very easily. And I don't know if you can notice how well that kind of just evened out my skin tone perfectly, even though it's whiter. And see, especially watch all those places right there, and it fills in pores. And I usually go up under my eyes, and like that time I got a little too much, so I'll carry it up. You want it to be a thin coat, because really when I use these BB creams, I'm using them kind of as a primer, as a first coating. And somebody told me they look like a vampire when they put it on, and I can understand why. And then I just kind of blend it down like that, just so there won't be a complete line. So you can see my face it looks even more white in the camera than it does in person, but it does. And then what is different about this BB cream and the Rachel K is it doesn't feel tacky. It feels like I can just hear my finger go over my skin. It's kind of smooth and drier. And I think that's why I like this over the, Leo Ellie and all those other ones. Because the next thing I do is I go in with my Laura Mercier Classic Beige. And this is the loose mineral powder. And I usually just sprinkle some out in the lid like that. And it looks really dark, but when you put it over this, it ends up being perfect. And this color is just so pretty. And my favorite brush for this is the Sephora Platinum Airbrush 55. So I get some in my brush, and then I kind of top it off like that. And I start right where, if you're going to get darkness, where you would want it, in the contour. So I start right here, and then I kind of go up under my eyes and work down and around my mouth. And just work that whole side like that. And then get a little bit more. and then swing it up on my forehead. I usually just do one side of my face at a time. So that's pretty much my base, and that's probably the typical amount. Like if I were going out and I really wanted my face to just be flawless, I might put just a little bit more on. If I were just hanging around the house all day, I might have stopped at that first little coat. But today I just wanted to make it, this is kind of like my everyday little bit right here. Okay, the next step is, and I should have said this before, the look that I am going for today was requested by, her YouTube name is Hawkeye Girl. Her name is Ariane, and she wanted to see just the look I had on probably like last Friday, but with the Chanel. So the next thing I would do is, I've been using this, and I keep meaning to put the correct name on my videos, and I always forget. It's the Dior Skin Nude Cafe Mocha. I could only remember Mocha. Cafe Mocha number 50. And like I explained, it's not really a bronzer. It's a kind of like a powder, and this is the darkest one, and the makeup artist suggested it, and I've been loving it. So what I've been doing is taking, my face tickles, this brush. I always use either this brush or my Bobbi Brown bronzer brush. These are my two brushes that I use. If I'm wanting to do an all over bronzer, not much contour, I use this one. If I'm really wanting to contour, then I use this one, and that kind of goes with, if the bronzer is not that dark, then I can go all over with this one. If it is a darker bronzer, of course I can't go all over. I'm gonna use this one. So I'm gonna use this one. And what I've been doing is just trying to swirl around in the bottom shades. And if I get a little bit of that pink in there, it's no big deal, but I've just been trying to do like this, and then come right in the contour area, like that. And then I usually swing up in the hairline, back down, and then underneath and down my neck like that. And then I'm going to do it again in the contour area, up around the hairline, back down, and down like that. So I'm going to do it just a little bit more. So you can see this really blends. It doesn't leave like a big stripe. And then I would take just a little bit and go down my nose like that. Okay, and then I wonder if I should do, I wish I could ask you right now if you want me to use this as a blush or if you want me to use my exposed. And I think I'm going to put on some exposed just so I can show you how I put on my blush brush. Because when I went out of town to my meet and greet, I lost my MAC 16, what is that one? 160? I can't remember the name of it now, but the one that I always use. And so I've always wanted to try Dior brushes. I remember watching Anna, the Style Diet, and she always used Dior brushes, and I always wanted to try them. And I wish they had a kit, but they don't. So I ended up the other day just getting the blush brush, because I like blush brushes that are flat, like pinched like that, because you'll see how I put on my blush. Okay, this is the Lorac exposed, and it's just my favorite. And I just get some on each side of my brush like that, and I go right above that contour, right on my cheekbone, and you'll see how it puts color and it puts kind of like a glow, a little highlight on at the same time. And kind of just hit right on that bone. And then I'll use the other side. And that's it. I might put a little bit more. Plus my face, and I just stood in front of our little space heater, and what that does is it takes all those powders that I just put on, and it kind of blends them together and seals them, and it takes all that powdery look out of the foundation, the Laura Mercier, and everything that you've put on, and it kind of just brings it into one, and it just, that's what gives you kind of like that natural skin look. But what I do, especially when I'm doing videos, is I take this little thing of HD powder, and my MAC 129 brush. That's my favorite powder brush. And I just get a little bit of this powder and I go right in the T-zone, right here, and right down my nose, and right where your pores and stuff are. Don't do all over your face because you don't want to take out that glow of your cheeks. This is Laura Mercier Buff. Someone had a great point. They said, isn't that about the same color as MAC Nubile Paint Pot? And it is. It is. This is a little bit more of a luminous thin finish. So what I've been doing is just putting some on my finger like that. And now this is just when I'm using it as a base, and then kind of putting it on my eyelids, because you just don't want too much, because then everything will just kind of slip and slide all around. You just want a little bit, you know, because I'm not really using this as my, I'll put a little bit more so you can see. I'm not using this as my shadow. Use it like I'm using it. You should put a base under it, because that will help it slide around and blend on your eye. You know, you don't want it just to, I mean, unless you're using it as a base, you don't want it to just stick right there. You want to be able to blend it out. So I always put on a base underneath, even if I'm using Groundwork or Constructivist or the Illusoire or the Mirifique, any of those dark colors, or any of those pencils that I've been using, or anything like that. So today I'm going to use the Illusoire. So anyway, this is the color, and it's gorgeous. It is just a gorgeous, gorgeous grayish purple color. And this is another point I kind of wanted to get across to you, is when you buy these, they're always going to tell you to use a flat Taklon brush or something like this, something like a 252 or something like that. That's not what I use. And the reason is I'm wanting to not pack it on, but then spread it out too. So I've been using either this little MAC 272. I love this brush. It's a Sue Devitt little lash line brush. Or even another one I really like is the Chanel number 3. And that's the one I'm going to use today, I guess. I don't know which one would be the easiest to get. I guess this would be just as easy as any. So you take it in your shadow like that. And what you're going to do is start off where you want it to remain the darkest. So you want it to remain the darkest right here. Let me put my magnifier mirror on. Oh goodness. And this one doesn't go on the brush as easy as the Mirifique does. So I'm making sure I'm on here. Put it right down here at the lash line, and then take some more. And what I do is create that line that goes from the end of my eyes up to the end of my eyebrow. Now, I've noticed that I don't carry my shadows out as far as a lot of people do, and I think that's because my eyes go down, so I'm always trying to lift them. And if I go out, it just drags my face down. So you just have to, you know, do this according to how your eyes are shaped, and then how much drama and everything else you want. But so I just make that line all the way up to like my crease bone. And then the secret is, this is where that base that you put down will come into play. I just start working it over. All of it. Just keep going into your shadows and working them over like that. All the way across your lid. So you see you're keeping it the darkest right where you originally put it. And you know, I told you about that too. Hold right here so you can really get some good smoothing going on. And then you might want to work it up a little bit too and start, you know, blending out this onto your brow bone. And see, you've already got that Laura Mercier up there for your highlight. So I would probably typically leave it right here. Now you might want to put something in the inner corner of your eye, but I kind of like, that's kind of the look I've been going for, is where I'm not trying to use so many shadows. And I would probably just blend this out and over like that. And start like that, just at the lash line. And like that. It's almost like as soon as you put it down, you know, start working it over like that. There you go, and you can see it's kind of really dark, so what I'll do is I'll come out here and kind of blend into it and make that, blend it in as much good as I can, and then, you know, just keep pulling it into the inner corner of your eye, but that way it keeps it the darkest on the outside. Like that. And you know, it's going to look a little too dark at first because you haven't gotten your liner on. And that was another thing I wanted to say. If you're a person that really doesn't like your eyeliner to show, then put your eyeliner on first and then do this right over it. It will not affect it. It will just, you know, help in blending your eyeliner out. But if you do want your eyeliner to show, put it on last. It's kind of an off black, but with no sparkle. And the name of it, you'll probably never see it, is Wholesome. And it's just a real dark, kind of like a softer black. And so I got that. And then another thing she got was a new brush called the MAC 211. And I just had to get this because I have the old MAC 211. I had to buy it off of eCrater or something one time. But it is nothing like this one. This is the old MAC 211. And then this is the new one. So they're totally different. I just thought it was neat. But I really do like this little one. It's a little short handle brush, but I like the way the point is. You can do a thick line or you can do thin. Get some on your brush. This is just going to be my everyday liner. Nothing fancy. Just what I would do if I were going wherever I end up going today. So I always start like about right here and just, you know, get down at the lash line, and then I go in, and I do go all the way in. I just make it a little bit thinner, and then what I usually do is try to follow that, you know, that line I've already made, and just go up a little bit like that, and then just come over, so it does wing out some. So you can see this gel liner is a pretty color as far as blacks go. Like that, and then I would probably just connect it and make sure you get all in here. Make those lashes look as thick as you can. And then I forgot to do something with I forgot to go underneath with my Illusoire. So what I would normally do is barely go under with this, like right into those little bit of lashes right there, and then just connect it. See, right into there, like that. And then I'm going to get the Illusoire, already put it up, and then show you what I would do. Just so you have just a little, just a tiny bit of shadow of the color underneath your eye, just kind of connecting that, like that. So I just like a little bit under there, just to, you know, connect everything and make it look. I know I used to use nothing underneath my eyes, and now I do think it looks a lot better just to use a little bit of something. I go through so many phases with mascara, but the latest one, and you know this is just my all-time favorite, is I have not been curling my lashes. I kind of like the way they look when they're just kind of fluttered out and not curled straight up. So this is the comb mascara, and I don't know if I'll be able to do it long distance, but I'm going to try. But it really, I think this is one of the reasons I don't have to curl them, is because this kind of puts mascara right at the edge, inside, and it naturally kind of pushes them up. And I like that it puts the bulk of the mascara right at your lash line. And then I kind of do these out. Like that. I'll do the other eye, and I'm going to use my Urban Decay Super Curl on the bottom, and then I'll be right back. Finishing up with this, and I thought I would show you what this adds. So I've already done the Maybelline Lash Stylist on my top lashes, and I've done the Urban Decay Super Curl on the bottom, and then I go back over it with the MAC Hot and Naughty Lash, because there is just a bunch of stuff on this, and that's when I go right kind of on the edges of my lashes, and that's where the Maybelline Lash Stylist really doesn't get anything. And then I can get that, you know, sometimes you kind of want, not a clumpy look, but you want some drama right there. Of course, I got it on my head right there. Everybody should have to make one tutorial. So, so that just adds, you know, that much more drama, and I really like that combination. And sometimes I write down all three or type all three in my description. But just know that I always use the Maybelline Lash Stylist first. Then I go to the Urban Decay on the bottom while the top ones are drying a little bit. And then I go back over it with this usually. And another one I've been liking is I got a sample of the Laura Mercier Bold Volume. And that is a good mascara. And I'm on the waiting list for my hair place. They sell YSL, and they're going to get me the Shocking. I want to try that. So that is the mascara. And then brows. I say I always, but lately I've been going for this one. I have so many different things, and you can tell just by the length of this pencil, this has been a good one. And I think a lot of the reason I like it is, of course, the color, but I love this little brush at the end because, for one thing, it's quick to just grab this, you know, brush out my brows, and then go in with the pencil. And what I'm trying to do is just fill in the front just a little bit, and then I usually just add just a little bit at the end like that. So fill out right here, and then bring that down just a little bit. And this color just is a good one. So you can see that they're much too dark and crazy looking right now. And then this little brush is stiff. It's like a little wire brush, but I like it because I kind of drag it like that, and it distributes that color really well, and it just handles any of those marks that you might have left like that. So that's what I use, and then I go over my brows just so they'll stay in place with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. And I need to get a big one. I've been using these little ones and they're about out. This is the best brow gel ever, ever, ever. The best one I've ever used. It's not goopy at all. Like that. Okay, now we are to my favorite part, which is lips. And I'm going to do one of my favorite lip combinations that I've been wearing almost every day, and I'm selling a lot of my lip liners. Matter of fact, I've got them, I'm going to sell them in groups. Here's the YSL, and this is the Guerlain Cupidon, which is like a highlighting pencil. Here's some Sue Devitt's, that brand new Baby Buff, and Estee Lauder. Anyway, I'm going to list those this afternoon. Because really, I could just go with this, which is the Dior Linen, and my Catrice Nude Rose, and my Too Faced Perfect Lips. I could really do, and then I'm going to keep my Chanel ones because they're just good basics, and they go with a lot of the lip combos that I already have. But anyway, so I've been loving this, and let me show you how I use it, because when you first look at the color, you're going to think, ooh, you're going to think that's too brown, that's too dark, and all that good stuff. Well, you're kind of using this like you would stone or any dark liner where you're kind of creating an effect. And so right now I have on my lips the Sarah Happ Lip Slip. I love that stuff, and so I'm going to take off the majority of it. And I am going to go, you can see how my lips have like that colored kind of white or uncolored ridge. So that's what I do, is I start off at the bottom and go right on that uncolored section. Like that. So you can see that this is not really leaving a color. It is just extending your lips and defining the edge of your lips. And a lot of times what I can do is, watch this, I can push my lips together and it'll go to the top. So watch. And see, that just instantly puts it on the top of my lips too. And then I just do this. So you can see how easy this is for me. I don't know if everybody's lips do that or not. It's weird. You only know now I'm going to go lightly on that top line. Just like that. I'm not nervous. I don't know why I'm shaking. Probably because I haven't eaten. Like that. So you can see I haven't put any color on the inside of my lips, and it's already made my lips look better. I've always been after that. Just lip color like Angelina Jolie, or the color lips that you would see in a jeans ad, or like when they're showing someone just getting out of bed, but you know they've got something on. And I think this is what that kind of gives to you. It just gives your lips definition. And it is the Clarins Rose, and it's a peachy rose. But I just love these glosses. So I'm just real careful to not really disturb my lip liner, and just put that right in the center, and then that gives you that pretty, you know, glossy finish, and then you still have the edges of your lips defined. It's just a perfect little combination. And I do it with this, I do it with that new Glossomer, the Surprise. I do it with, I've even done it with just my Sarah lip slip. So I just love, I think the key is that lip liner, and just doing it right on the edge and making sure it's real blended. And that's what when I put my lips together, that's what it's doing, is it's blending it out. So the last step would be my concealer. So a lot of you ask me, you know, about the corrector and the concealer. The corrector is the very first thing I put on. The concealer is the very last thing that I put on. And I've been using the Jane Iredale concealer, this little clicky pen thing, and I cannot read the writing, Active Light. And I usually just open it up and see if it's got enough. This one could use a click or two, but it really comes out, so you have to be careful. And I did say this is number 2, I think, but in case I didn't, it's number 2. And then it's real slicky, so I work it in my finger, and I go right where that darkness still is, right here, and kind of pat it in. Don't go up to your, don't be tempted. I mean, I know you're going to be tempted, but don't go up to your lash line. Stay out here and really, really, really work it in like that. And then I put a little bit too much on, so I'm going to come over there with this clean finger. Okay, and that's it. And I do not powder under my eyes, just because I think it accents all my fine lines. I would rather just my concealer wear off a little bit, but I really have had good luck with this. So that is the completed look, which is one of the James Purse tank tops. And this is a medium, and I actually have one just like this in a large on my website if anybody's interested. And then these are the Hudson jeans, and you can see how they have the double button. But I have on my belt with the design, and I just love this. So that just adds a good detail to your outfit without having to do too much. The shoes I'm wearing today are just, here, should I go in this way? Yeah. The shoes I'm wearing today are just the Bell by Singer. And these are just regular, I'm not sure, I think these are the Elm Signature Boot Hudson jeans. And they've got a good back on, they got the flaps and everything. Accessories today, I have on this necklace that I love, and this was also a gift from Amy. And in my big box of stuff she got me, this is the ring. I think I was wearing this the other day, but this is a Jean Davidson Castle ring. My nail polish is still the Sally Hansen Commander in Chic. Earrings are just some little blue stones, and they are set in that same dark metal, and I believe these were Givenchy. I guess that's it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, I wanted to tell you about one more thing. I just got this magazine, and I don't know if you're like me, but I get so disappointed. You know, I buy all these magazines, and some of them are just full of nothing. They're full of the same ads. And I was looking through it this morning, and I saw a section that I thought you guys might find interesting. I did. And it was a question that someone had written in, and I'm probably not going to be able to find it now, on the length of your, what should the length of your pants be? And it was kind of appropriate for me because I've been dealing with the new style pants and everything. And they said, of course, they had to answer it according to what style jeans they were. Okay, I just found it. And it's so true. I pretty much agreed with everything they said. The skinny jeans, they said, is the easiest. Pretty much any shoe from a flat to a gigantic platform to a tall pair of boots works. The thing to remember is the skinny really features the shoe. Skinny pants are like two long arrows pointing down at your feet. So they said that about the skinny jeans. And then the wide leg, I thought this was refreshing since my jeans yesterday went so far down, and all of them do. It said the wide leg pants must always skim the floor. It says if the hem gets trampled on and lived in, so much the cooler. So they showed it, just like mine were yesterday, where they're all the way to the floor. And then the boyfriend or baggy jeans should be hemmed or rolled up a little above the ankle bone and worn with a tough feminine shoe. Like those ones I just got yesterday would look really good with the boyfriend jeans because they're chunky, and with the zipper they're a little tougher looking. But this really is a good magazine. It had several good pages of shoes, which makes it good with me, but showing all different kinds of shoes and everything. So just worth getting. And I guess that's it. I'm going to run off to Walmart. I wanted to pick up Will. We went to go see Puss in Boots in the theater, but now it's out, and I wanted to get it for him to watch in the car and stuff. So have a good Thursday, and I will see you right here tomorrow. Bye-bye.